I do suppose it is time to go ahead and cover my final thoughts on the Half-Life series of games. We, in today's stream, finished off Half-Life 2 Episode 2. And we finished off the final game in the Half-Life series around about 20 minutes ago. Went out and had a smoke, ate some dinner, had some water. I've had some time to think. Final thoughts on the Half-Life series of games. What do I think? I think they're really good games. I think the storytelling is fantastic. I love the lore behind the Half-Life series of games. The gameplay is a lot of fun. Definitely can be frustrating at times, for sure. For example, Striders. Striders are pretty frustrating, I will acknowledge. But overall, in general, a very fun series of games to play through. I really enjoyed the original Half-Life. I really enjoyed the base game of Half-Life 2, and then Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2 were both fantastic as well. All of the games from the Half-Life series I've played so far are fantastic. The only ones I haven't played so far are Half-Life Alyx, and I haven't played Half-Life Blue Shift, or there's another spin-off game that I haven't played as well. But the base games for the normal series, Half-Life Episode 2, and then the episodes after that, all great games. The gameplay is really nice. I really like the physics engine. I really like the storyline. Overall, great games that I gotta admit I've thoroughly enjoyed. Now, they're not without my own personal criticisms, I will acknowledge. My personal criticisms just come down to personal preference, though. Personally, I feel like the Half-Life games are a bit too linear at times, kind of thing. I do really enjoy them, and I realize that they're story-based games, and they want you to do stuff in a certain order, but sometimes it just does feel a little bit too forced, and sometimes it feels a little bit too linear. That's just a personal preference thing. I like my open world games that give you the choice to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, or what you want to do whenever, kind of thing. So I do personally prefer having choice in when I do stuff. However, besides that one little tidbit, which is really just a personal preference thing, besides the fact that I think the Half-Life games are a little bit too linear at times, they're great. They're fantastic. I do quite like the Half-Life series of games, and especially the lore behind the Half-Life series is super interesting to me, and that really is the main reason why I wanted to play the Half-Life series of games for quite a long time, kind of thing. I've owned Half-Life for a while, and Half-Life 2 since like 2014, I think it is. I was given Half-Life 2 and the episodes for Half-Life 2 as a gift from my grandfather, and very glad to have finally been able to play through Half-Life 2. Shout out my grandfather for the fantastic gift, I will acknowledge. It's been a long time coming, playing through the Half-Life series, and really one of the main reasons why I wanted to play Half-Life so bad is just simply because of the lore. I growing up and stuff like that, would watch YouTube videos about, like, the Half-Life and Portal lore and stuff like that, and it's such a cool universe to me, and I'm very glad to have been able to experience the Half-Life side of the universe now. I've played through Portal and Portal 2 before, and I really enjoy both of those games, but I'm very glad to have experienced the Half-Life side of the universe now, and to have seen what's going on the other side of the universe and of the lore and whatnot kind of thing. And it's all very interesting. It's all very interesting, I will acknowledge. The lore of the Half-Life universe is super cool. The gameplay is a lot of fun. And overall, I would absolutely recommend the original Half-Life from 1998. I would absolutely recommend Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2. The entire series of games are games that I would highly recommend. If you guys like a story-driven game and you don't mind a little bit of linearity, then absolutely Half-Life is going to be a game series that you will enjoy. And especially for the price you can get Half-Life and Half-Life 2 for these days, it is a worthwhile purchase, because they go on sale for, like, I think I bought the original Half-Life for like less than $1, and I think I've seen Half-Life 2, on sale for, I think, less than $5. Absolutely worth the price, no question in my mind. Absolutely worth it. Yeah, just a fantastic time as a whole, frankly put. What is the rankings I would give the Half-Life games on a tier list, though. I'm going to go ahead and open up a tab on my browser, and I am going to see if somebody has already made a Half-Life game tier list. Let's just look it up real quick. Let's see if I can get the tab opened up. If I possibly can. Is that going to be possible? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Let's go with that if I can. Half-Life complete tier list. So, some of these games I have played through, some of them I have not. I haven't played through this one, for example, or this one. Haven't played Half-Life Deathmatch or Team Fortress Classic, which is technically a Half-Life game. Haven't done Opposing Force or Blue Shift yet. I've just played through the main game, so I'm just going to be ranking those. But let's go ahead and start ranking those. So I'm going to start off with the original Half-Life. The original Half-Life, in my opinion, is fantastic. Great game. A little bit too linear at times, but it definitely approaches that aspect better in some ways than some parts of Half-Life 2, in my personal opinion. And overall, I really, really, really like the original Half-Life. The original Half-Life is absolutely fantastic, and I really like it. And for that reason, it's going into S tier. Like, in my opinion, the original Half-Life absolutely deserves an S tier ranking, frankly put. Just super good. Just super good. Half-Life 2, just the base game. I really enjoyed playing it, but it's just not, in my opinion, on the same level as the original Half-Life. Really good, just not quite on the same level, though. As such, it will be going into A tier, and I want to clarify, S tier and A tier, they're pretty close on this tier list. Like, there's going to be nothing that is below an A tier. So A tier and S tier are very close. This is really just personal preference for which I prefer over the other, just for simple organization, and I just realized I should probably have this down here rather than covering everything up. But, yes, S tier, Half-Life, the original game, A tier, Half-Life 2 base game. It's kind of my personal take, I will acknowledge. Both really good games, but Half-Life 2, the base game, in my opinion, gets a little bit too linear at times. I'm also really not a big fan of the Strider portion of it. And the zombie portion, while fun at times, just really not my thing as well. There's just more portions of Half-Life 2, the base game, that I didn't enjoy when compared to the base original Half-Life. But still a fantastic game. When it comes to Half-Life 2 Episode 1, I'm going to have to say I think it's probably my favorite part of the Half-Life series I've played so far. Half-Life 2 Episode 1 was so fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just really, really, really dang good as a whole. And frankly put, it's going to be going into S tier above the original Half-Life. Half-Life 2 Episode 1, really, really, really dang good. Really thoroughly enjoyed it, frankly put. And absolutely, I gotta admit, I think probably my favorite part of the Half-Life series I've played so far. Just really dang good in general. Really, really, really dang good in general. So I have no complaints. Just a fantastic game as a whole. The ending is so good. The beginning is so good. Just the general gameplay throughout and just how it goes. The original, just Half-Life 2 Episode 1, fantastic. And absolutely, I'm going to have to say probably my favorite Half-Life 2 game and just my favorite Half-Life game in the series so far that I've played so far. Just a really good game as a whole, in my opinion. And then Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Oh, it's hard because the ending is so unsatisfying. The ending is so unsatisfying. Good game. Good gameplay. Doesn't feel quite as linear as some of the other portions of the base game of Half-Life 2. But the ending is so unsatisfying, and it does feel almost as linear in some ways. What are we thinking? I'm thinking, do I want to do it? What am I thinking? It's hard. It's hard. I'm really about 50-50 with it, honestly. Both are really good, but I don't know which one is my personal preference. I'm going to have to think on this for a second. Both really good games, though. Oh, man. What are we thinking? I think I'm going to leave it like this. So, I'm going to have to say my favorite part of the Half-Life series I've played through so far is Half-Life 2 Episode 1. That's my absolute favorite. I love the storytelling, the gameplay, just really fantastic as a whole in my personal opinion. I really like it. And I really like the ending as well, kind of thing, just really good as a whole. The original Half-Life game, gotta be my number 2 in the series. Just such a good game as a whole. And I do see Black Mesa on this list. It's right here. I need to play through Black Mesa eventually. Don't plan on doing that for at least a couple months, but eventually I do want to play through that as well and see what updates were made with Black Mesa, because I've heard Black Mesa is fantastic. But the original Half-Life from 1998 gotta be my number 2. My number 3 is the base game for Half-Life 2. Fantastic, but a little bit too linear at times in my personal opinion, but a fantastic game nonetheless. And then Half-Life 2 Episode 2, fantastic as well. Thoroughly enjoyed it as well, but a little bit too linear at times for me as well, kind of thing. But all of these games are fantastic. Just because the 2 I put into S tier are in S tier does not mean that they are innately better than the ones in A tier. Both S tier and A tier are still fantastic ratings to me in my personal opinion, and all of these games get above an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 to me. That's just how good I think they are. So putting them into a tier list rank like this doesn't really do them a deserved rating in my personal opinion. But yeah, that's kind of my tier list. That's kind of my tier list for the Half-Life games I've played so far. As I play through more, as I do eventually plan on playing Half-Life Alyx and Half-Life Blue Shift and Opposing Forests. But as I continue playing through more of the Half-Life games, some ratings may change and stuff like that kind of thing. But as far as the ones I've played so far, fantastic games. Really good games. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And eventually I definitely do want to play through Half-Life Alyx and Half-Life Blue Shift and Opposing Forests. And the rest of these games eventually I will acknowledge. Gotta admit, no complaints on my behalf. Not at all. Not at all. No complaints on my behalf. That is for sure. Yeah. Final thoughts on the Half-Life series. Really good. Absolutely worthwhile playing. I don't know why I waited so long to play this series. And just fantastic as a whole. I love the story, the gameplay, the lore, the physics. The only thing I really don't like are the Striders. The Striders, I hate the Striders. I don't like how it can be a little bit too linear at times, and that's about it. Those are really my only criticisms. But really, those are super minor, and it's a very fun game. All of the games are very fun, and all of the games are ones that I would recommend. I will acknowledge. Do I like the Half-Life series of games? Yes, I do. But now that I've covered that, let's talk about my final thoughts on Half-Life 2 Episode 2. And my final thoughts on Half-Life 2 Episode 2 in specific. Oh, I hate the ending. I hate the ending so much. Now, I wouldn't hate the ending nearly as much if Half-Life 2 Episode 3 was out. I really would not hate the ending that much, because then I could just jump immediately into playing Half-Life 2 Episode 3 and we get a different ending kind of thing. But Half-Life 2 Episode 2, I hate the ending. Eli's dead. It ends on a cliffhanger. It's just horrible. It's like the worst cliffhanger I've ever experienced from any television show or movie or video game I've ever played. Like, bro, what? Nah, I hate the ending of Half-Life 2. I do really like it though. It is a very good game, and one that I definitely still recommend. But I hate the ending. I hate the ending so much. But I'm glad to have finally experienced the ending of Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Leo Cal Garo 5510, you're asking, what is linear in a linear non-open world game? I suppose I should kind of explain what I mean by that more. Yeah, I don't have an issue with the game play being linear itself. Like, with games that are open world, I really like having the choice to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I realize that's what I said a little bit earlier. I think that was a bad description. I suppose what I mean is that I want multiple options to do certain things. Sometimes with the Half-Life universe games, I'm like, oh, I could totally do this and solve this issue just like that, but I can't. Like, for example, with Half-Life 2, so many problems could be so easily solved if I could just jump a fence. But I can't. But Gordon Freeman as a person could definitely jump a fence. Like, Bro can fall from like 80 feet and be just fine. He can definitely jump a fence. But you're not allowed to because that's not the way they want you to do it. And it's the same with like certain areas as well where you're defeating enemies and stuff like that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, I feel like I should just be able to run right now because like the door's open, but like it won't let me kind of thing. Yeah, it just feels a little bit too linear in that way, in my opinion. And that's kind of my take on it. It's just kind of lack of choice when the choice is right there in your face. Like, if there was no choice and it wasn't in my face and what was presented was what I got, that would be one thing. But there's choice right there, and you can't do it. You can't climb that fence. You can't defeat the enemies in a different way than you're supposed to. You can't do something in a different way than you're supposed to, kind of thing. And I understand that it is a story-driven game, but that's still something that is a personal, just not my kind of thing. And so that's definitely something that is a minor issue that I personally have with the Half-Life series of games. Half-Life, the original one from 1998, is guilty of that, but I've personally found it more noticeable in the Half-Life 2 series of games. Personally speaking, just because they are a little bit more open-worldy than the original Half-Life, which mainly takes place underground in a research facility. There's really not many options other than the paths you have in front of you. And so there's no other options really presented. And so the whole linearity of it isn't really an issue. But when you can see the world around you and go, wow, I'd like to jump that fence, and you try to jump it and there's just an invisible wall stopping you, yeah, just not my thing. Just not my thing, I will acknowledge. But yeah, really good though. Really good though. It's hard to judge Half-Life games by modern game conventions when Valve's designs were so innovative that they literally changed the direction of graphics hardware. They did. And I will certainly not deny that the Half-Life series of games are just that innovative, because at the time, they really set the standard to a new degree, kind of thing. The Half-Life games, they're fantastic. They still hold up, in my opinion, and they're just really, really, really good games as a whole. And I'm not going to say that it's a limitation of the time, because I don't believe that that was a limitation of the time. I believe that they could have totally made it where you could jump the fence and get through the invisible wall that would not be there, theoretically speaking, if you so desired. But they chose not to because it's meant to be a linear story-based game and you're meant to do things as you're supposed to do them. You're not meant to be able to skip through entire portions of game, kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if what I said really just made any sense, but that's kind of my thinking. And what I'm saying isn't really me criticizing it based on modern games, per se. It's just me criticizing it based on my personal preference. And that's why I'm being critical. It's not that I'm comparing them against modern games, because I really haven't played a lot of, really any, honestly, modern story-driven FPS games. And I've seen clips of some of them, like, let's say, like, some of the Call of Duty games and stuff like that. And the Call of Duty games seem even more linear. They seem to be just insanely linear, kind of thing. Like, even more linear than the Half-Life series. And for that, I do have to give Half-Life, this entire series, credit where credit is due, for sure. But yeah, just kind of my take. But yeah, let me know, though. Let me know. Does my thinking make any sense? Let me know. I'm not sure. Hope it does.